hello, I'm at episode number, I think it's 440 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be SmackDown for week 1 of November 2023, and it is the final stop before Cyber Sunday this Saturday night. With, Mania great matches set for that show, including a World Heavyweight Championship match between Montez Ford and Ilya Dragunov. We don't yet know who's going to be the special referee for that match. It will either be a choice of all three members of EST, or it will be one of the members of EST up for option alongside The Miz and LA Knight, depending on the result of a match tonight. And also our main event night for the United States Championship. Pete Dunne defends in maybe his toughest challenge yet against Solo Sikoa. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's go-home show. We start off with a Collision-style cold open, but those pre-tape video promos even, because the tag match between Ilya and Ilya, or Ilya and The Miz against Ilya and Montez Ford is opening up the show. We get the average LA Knight opening. He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is Friday Night SmackDown, and tonight the megastar LA Knight punches his ticket to be the special referee at Cyber Sunday, because it doesn't matter whether it's going to be Montez Ford or Ilya Dragunov, whoever it is that leaves Vegas as the World Heavyweight Champion has got a one-way ticket to get their ass beat by this future World Heavyweight Champion, and his name, LA Knight. All I've got to do is put up with The Miz." We then come across with The Miz, who goes, "LA Knight sure does love to speak a big game, but he knows that he's got a bias heading into this match, so he won't be able to keep his animosity with Montez Ford aside. And Montez Ford, if he picks one of his own friends in his little circle, that's going to have bias in it as well. But me, I'm impartial. That's why when we win tonight, all because of me, not nothing to do with that LA Knight, you should vote me as the special referee, because that would be awesome." And then see Montez Ford and the rest of EST there, and he says, "It don't matter, who the special referee is, because I'll defend my championship against anybody, but apparently I've got to coexist with old Ilya Dragunov tonight. But all I've got to do is win and ensure that one of my own friends here can do the right thing and referee that match, whether it be my own wife or Oro or Jakara. It don't matter." Then Ilya storms past and does all shoulder checks. Montez Ford. And then storms out to the ring and he goes, "What's his problem?" Beck goes, "Girl, I don't know. I mean, if you really think about it, why would he want one of us to referee his title match? So, I'm not sure this is going to be a good night for you, Tez, because you're not really going to have a partner, because why would Ilya want to help you win? Well, if he's as badass as he says he is, he'll be able to win regardless of who the referee is. But it's fine, because I don't need Ilya, because it's only LA Knight, right? I beat LA Knight. LA Knight can't beat me. He can't beat me. LA Knight can't beat Montez Ford." We then head into the match. I'll give you one guess as to what happens there. LA Knight pins the World Heavyweight Champion for BFT after Ilya Dragunov, of course, walks out, because why the fuck would he want one of Montez Ford's friends to be the referee? 89 for both Ilya and Montez Ford, and 85 for LA Knight, and 83 for The Miz. Yeah, I know it was weird going, why would Ilya Dragunov want to be partnering with Montez Ford? But yeah, it's fine. It was all a ruse, and of course, LA Knight has just scored a pinfall victory over the World Heavyweight Champion. So, all that talk from Montez Ford gave about LA Knight not being able to beat him, proven false. But of course, LA Knight and The Miz, they also don't coexist, but they coexist enough to, I guess, get it done. And The Miz, of course, he's on the apron when the bell rings, celebrating like he did all the work, and LA Knight lays him out of a BFT as well. So yeah, you already know the options, because I've already put the poll up, because I had to put the poll up before I recorded this, because I planned to record Cyber Sunday straight after. So I needed, options, results. I was just going to say I was going to just do LA Knight as the referee, knowing that he'd win the poll, but that still felt a little bit scummy, even though, he is running away with the poll, so I was right if I would have done that. But, yeah. Doesn't matter. Polls up, LA Knight, Miz, member of EST. Vote now. Actually, don't, because by the time you're watching this, it won't matter because I've already recorded the pay-per-view. Then cut backstage, Kayla's with Florence again. And she said, Kayla, okay, because Florence, last week, Cammy came up to you and she really, had a message for Queendom. And she goes, well, I don't know what Queendom's issue is. What is it? Because are they scared of me? Kayla, is that what it is? Because I've got this briefcase. I think I can just cash it in whenever I want to beat EO. That's not the kind of fighter I am, Kayla. When I plan on cashing in this briefcase, trust me, Cammy, EO, all of them, they'll know about it. Because why would I take the cheap, easy route to become champion? Look at Montez Ford. He did that. I don't want to be like that. I want to be my own fighting champion, Kayla. So, if Cammy's concerned about me sneaking up on her golden goose, her Joshi Judas, the woman to her right, the women's world champion, whatever it is, then she can relax. But what she has done is make an enemy out of me. And that's not an enemy you ever want to make. That's when Piper Niven walks in. She just looks down and laughs at Florence and goes, you think you're tough? An enemy we don't want to make? Listen here, babe. I'll squash you just like I squash everybody else that gets in our way. Florence just laughs and goes, sounds like a challenge. Great. I love a challenge. See you tonight, babe. So yeah, big match. Florence versus Piper Niven. Later on tonight. Should be a hoot. We then see, I don't know how this system operates in America, so I'm just going to use British JCB job center examples. The coach and goes, please, can you, let me find a good living for you, tell us your qualifications. And Keith Lee leans forward, he's wearing his anime jacket and his hat, and he goes, name's Lee. Keith Lee. And they go, okay, Keith Lee, okay. And what are your accolades, What's your resume looking like? He goes, well, I'm a former world heavyweight champion. I'm former NXT champion, former North American champion. I want to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And they go, slow, any real world, because, it seems you've been a professional wrestler for WWE for the last 5 years. And that ended last month. He goes, that is indubitably true. I go, well, so, none of this, Keith, none of this is going to help you in the real world, okay? I don't know what sort of place you think we've got going on here, but we can't get you jobs within wrestling. So, if you want to become, a hard worker and work your way up practically through the ranks here, you have to start low. Maybe some community service. And Keith goes, community service? I'm a former world heavyweight champion. There must be something a little higher than community service that you can have me doing. And then they go, well, turns out, WWE is actually in town next week here in Texas. And they actually do need somebody to stand in. And he goes, excellent. When do I start? And he goes, we'll test you next week. How does your practical World Heavyweight Championship experience help you with cleaning? And Keith goes, cleaning? Why would I clean? That's the role we've got, practical cleaner, WWE SmackDown, Texas, next week. Keith just sighs and goes, it's better than nothing. So, unemployed Keith Lee, he's looking for a job. He's enrolled. He's currently, unemployed. He's got a coach, having to find him a job. And his first gig is to be a cleaner on SmackDown next week. So let's see how that goes. We then see Buster Gates, Nebo, and Rufus come out. Buster Gates is in action. He's taking on Daniel Bryan. That's when Bryan's music interrupts. And Bryan comes out, white t-shirt. And not in his ring gear, basically. He goes, whoa, stop. Buster, look at you. I know you're absolutely desperate to get in the ring with me tonight. And trust me, I would be, if I wasn't the best wrestler in the world right now, proven fact, because I beat Okada at SummerSlam, I'd want to wrestle me too, because I know that I'd deliver the best match I'd ever have in my career, Buster, and I'll make you look like a star, even in defeat. But, I'm not really feeling working Milwaukee. So, Miles here, he's got some lessons to learn. So we're going to thrust him into the deep end. So, Buster, your opponent's not going to be me. It's going to be Miles Bourne. Miles gets into the ring, and we get the match, which is Buster Gate versus Miles Bourne. That match gets a 70. Okay, I'll take that, considering it's Miles Bourne. Yeah, he does win, of course. Rochambeau, 11:27. We give Miles a little bit of, offense to show what he can do here. It says the performance of Buster stood out as being good. He only gets a 76, which I guess in conjunction with the 70, carrying the 32 of Miles Bourne is... Yeah, it's all on Buster there. But yeah, he does defeat him, 11:27. And of course, maybe Miles is still, a little bit hurt from last week when Brian beat the fuck out of him. So... we then cut backstage again. And then Mariah May's behind the camera again. She goes, okay, are we recording? He goes, yes, Miss Stratton. Goes, anyway, last week before I was so rudely interrupted by a disgusting brute, I was here to make a big tiffy announcement. Okay, because I've been the focal point here of the SmackDown Women's Division since I first arrived earlier this year, and oh my god, do I deserve something for it. But nobody's giving me any credit. So, I've had to go out and make my own credit. Ladies and gentlemen, then the door opens again, out walks Fallon Henley. She goes, am I interrupting something here? She goes, yes you are. Get your grubby face out of my shot. She goes, no, I quite like it here. This is my locker room. And she goes, I said get out of my shot. Okay? You're not the center of the universe around here. I am. Nobody wants your stupid, ugly face on my screen. Okay? Fallon Henley smacks her in the face. Set up a match later on tonight. Tiffany's big announcement once again interrupted. But it will be Tiffany Stratton against Fallon Henley later on tonight. John Cena comes out. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long old 2 months here for John Cena. Okay, things out of my control brought me a second chance for another run here in WWE this year that I didn't think I was going to get. And trust me, every single week I'm out here with you people, I don't take any of it for granted. The same people who for 10 years, 15 years are out here saying Cena sucks, they're now showing me respect. And I don't care if you want to cheer me or if you want to boo me, as long as you're making noise, then I know I did my job. So, this surprise run of mine, I'm sure you've all heard on the news, it's coming to an end soon. And here's the thing. I've only wrestled one singles match this year. That was against a man named Carmelo Hayes. You may have heard of him. Back at WrestleMania. And I lost that match. So I can't leave 2023 without winning a one-on-one singles match here in the WWE. And I find myself tomorrow night, Las Vegas, against a man named Swerve Scott. Now Swerve, he's somebody I look at a lot like a young version of me. Somebody looking to break his way in here, We both came up through the rap game. But now he's got a little bit cuckoo in the head. You see, he surrounds himself with his own new bodyguards and his own dancing lackey, rather than his own former group members in Hit Row. So Swerve, I do still respect you and what you do in this ring. You're a hell of a competitor. But I think it's time we had a talk. Face to face. Out comes Swerve. Lord Bando dancing alongside him. Bronco Nero, Lucian Price behind him, flanking him. Swerve gets into the ring. Bodyguards, I imagine they're both like, Swerve stood there looking at John Cena, but Bronco and Lucian are like between the two of them, as if they're like protecting Swerve. And he goes, "You said we need to see each other face to face, John." I disagree. There ain't nothing I gotta say to you face to face, because I've already said everything that needs to be said around here. But since we're out here, we got a match to sell. I'ma leave you with this. John, you say 2023 you've had one singles match and you lost it. I say good. Because I ain't the only one around here who must be bored crapless of the same old Super John Cena routine. You come out, you're playing your shitty rap, okay? My song's better than yours. And you come out here and you fire these people up. Because they prop you up like you're some sort of superhuman being, John. And maybe when I was a fan growing up, I may have thought you were too. But I don't see superhero in front of me right now. I barely even see John Cena. And no, that's not a, little joke saying, "Oh, you can't see me." No, I see you clearly. But what I see ain't superhero. Ain't John Cena. It's a balding, weak, washed up former great who was riding, his secondary gig because a little bit of time opened up on his schedule. Now I see for me, for Swerve and the Mogul affiliates, there ain't no secondary gig. Sure, I'm hitting up, rap in my free time, but that's my free time, John. This is my number one gig. And if I haven't proved anything over the last couple of months, it's that I'll do anything to get to the top. This opportunity at the top that you're taking for granted, because you're off doing Hollywood, should be mine. So it's Cyber Sunday, John. You're holding on hope for your first singles win of the year. You ain't gonna get it. Because quite frankly, it don't mean that much to you. But fear not, John, because everyone will remember the great John Cena when he rides off into the sunset. They'll go, "Man, what a career, quite possibly the greatest of all time." But you know what they'll be saying in the here and the now, come next week when you're not around and I am? They'll go, "Man, I remember John Cena. Man, what a career. Whatever happened to that guy? I know he's doing movies now, but what happened to his wrestling career?" And that's when they'll say, Swerve Scott stomped him out. Took that torch. He didn't get past the torch by John Cena. No, he took it. So, John, I'll see you Sunday. If you even make it that far. Then Bronco Nemo and Lucian Price jump on John Cena. 2-on-1 attack him in the corner. Lord Bando's hyping him up in the corner, going, "Yes, go on, get him. Hit Row come out. Top Dollar and Ashanti. Maybe with lead pipes, because, one of them is Ashanti. He's a lot smaller than the other guys. So he'd need something to even the odds. Because there is a pre-show match. The pre-show match is Top Dollar and Ashanti against Bronco Nemo and Lucian Price. So there'll be no vote on that one, because, it's a pre-show match. And they help fend off the Mogul affiliate. Swerve doesn't get physical at all. He's like on the ramp at this point, just watching on, laughing. Then get a quick vignette. William Regal narrates a Creed Brothers video package about how they're, genetic freaks and they're the future of the tag team division. And they earned that tag team title shot last week when they beat Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. And soon, he doesn't say when, because I haven't decided, but he says soon they'll get a title opportunity and they'll become the new tag team champions. Which then takes us to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the back. And they're looking and wow, these Creed guys, Sami, they're no joke. I've had my eyes on these guys since they first broke onto the scene here, Kevin, and, with Regal by their side, that's one hell of a tag team. That's when Trick Williams walks in and goes, "Look who it is. If it ain't Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions." And Sami goes, "What do you want, Trick?" He goes, "Listen here. I know last week Trick Mello gang, it didn't really get off to a great start for them. You know, we lost in that tag team championship match in those creeds. You're dead right, Sammy, they're no joke. But you see, that ain't the end of the road for Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, not at all. Because we still want to get to the top of this tag team division. And I can't think of a better way to get there than by besting the champions in non-title action. Kevin Owens goes, so what exactly are you saying, Trick? You know, you want a match against us? Huh? Well, you're on next week. Me and Sammy facing you and Carmelo Hayes. And Trick goes, yeah, I'll just let Mello know. So I goes, hey, where is Mello anyway? He goes, I don't know, he's been talking to Adam Pearce a lot lately, and I don't know what he's talking about, but hey, doesn't matter. Trick Mello gang on the same page, I'll let him know we got a tag team title match. And Sammy goes, you know, it's fine. You can go find Mello. Go explain that you got a title match that you're going to lose. Well, not a title match even. A match against the champions. That you're going to lose next week. And just watch out with him. I don't know what he's scheming, but, you know, take it from me. I know what it's like to have my best friend betray me. Kevin Owens gives him like a confused look when he says that. And he goes, hey, you're right, Sammy, you know. But Mello, he's my brother, you know. He ain't like any evil former best friends that just pretending to like you in the past. He goes, no, it's all good, I understand that, but just saying, you know, keep an eye out for whatever. We don't know what he's scheming. Trick goes, I don't like what you're insinuating here, Sammy. Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams, we go together like peanut butter and jelly. I'll see you next week with my best friend Carmelo Hayes. And then Trick walks off. Kevin Owens has just been given like a shit stare at Sammy ever since he mentioned being turned on by a best friend. And then as soon as Trick walks away, he goes, Who was this friend? Like, that betrayed you, you know? Do I know him? And Sammy just looks across at Kevin and just goes, Nah, you've never met him. 56. Somehow that's better than expected. Tiffany Stratton beats Fallon Henley, 9:25 for PME, after Mariah May gets involved. I imagine Mariah May has brought, like, it's covered in a cloth or whatever, but there's, like, some object at ringside on a table that she's brought out with her. And then after the match, Tiffy gets on the mic and goes, as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted backstage, I've been the center of the universe here for many, many months, and I've got nothing to show for it, because Adam Pearce just doesn't want to acknowledge it. But that's why me and Mariah, we spent all our hard-working money to create an award just for me. I present to you the 2023 SmackDown Woman of the Year. The first winner, me. And then Mariah May lifts the cloth up, and it's like just a bunch of like boxes, like all loosely taped together, and they just all fall apart as soon as they lift the cloth up. And Tiffy sort of listening goes, where's my Tiffy trophy? She goes, I don't know, it was here. You know, last I checked, we had it hidden in the locker room. She goes, Mariah, where's my Tiffy trophy? She goes, I don't know, I'll find it, Tiffany, I'll find it. She goes, good, because I can't be the center of the universe without my shiny trophy. Okay? They say material possessions aren't the end-all be-all of life. But I disagree, because they really show how great I am, and now I look like a loser with a bunch of wood. Go and find my trophy. She goes, you got it, Tiffany. So, Tiffany had some kind of trophy made, but it has been stolen, it seems. Speaking of, I don't know what speaking of, funny segments that I enjoy. We then cut to a Chase U segment. They're on the field, like doing, I don't know, PE. And they're running around, you know, Chase U, I imagine the PE kit is Chase U t-shirts, shorts, and all that. And then Andre Chase goes, everybody take 5. And Andre Chase goes to sit on the bleachers. And there sat on the bleachers are resident rebels of Chase U, Thea Hale, Shane Reynolds, and Morgan Daniels. And he goes, wait a minute. What the hell are you guys doing out here? And Thea goes, oh, hey, Mr. Chase. And he goes, what's happening here? And I imagine Shane's probably drinking. Thea's too young to drink. And he goes, "Do you want one, Mr. Chase?" He goes, "Do I want one? No, I don't want to drink on the job, Shane. Why are you? Where have you been? Why have you been cutting class?" Mon goes, You know, Chase U's been sort of, a drag recently. It's a drag? You're calling Chase University a drag? Because what is even happening? Who's made you do this? And then they just go, "No one. We just think the school's not, right now." And Andre Chase goes, "Well, why do you say that? What could be changed?" Shane goes, "Well, we worried when we came to Chase U, we were so excited because it was our first big break here in WWE, but you, Mr. Chase, over the last couple of months, you've not really been putting in, the numbers to warrant, the big fortune it cost to enroll in such a prestigious school." And Chase goes, "So you three you're skipping class because of me?" I goes, "Well, it's not because of you, Mr. Chase. It's because we stick together, we're a family." And Andre goes, "Yeah, I thought we were. You know what? If you want to be like this, I can be like this. If you don't show up to class next week, you're all expelled." And he walks off. And they all sort of look around at each other and just consider, do we want to do that? Because, we don't like being here, but also it's kind of a lot of money. So, Chase U's having a bit of an identity crisis right now. Half the class loves it. The other half of the class thinks Andre Chase is not cutting it, to say the least. 80. We'll take that. In 11 minutes and 20, Piper Niven actually pins Florence with a Michinoku driver because Tegan Nox runs out. Well, all of Queendom, I guess. But Tegan is the one who deals the big blow that allows Florence to be pinned after a Michinoku driver. 85 for Florence, 66 for Piper Niven. And yeah, I guess you could call it an upset, but also it's Piper Niven, so not really. And then after the match, all of Queendom are in the ring. I imagine that's when we cut to the ads. And we come back, they're also in the ring. And Cammy goes, "So, Queendom's quest here, wink wink, has been to dominate SmackDown. And last week, that plan was to become a reality when Utami Hayashishita, the heir apparent, became the new Women's Liberty Champion. But that's not what happened. Because the heir apparent, the Joshi Prodigy, Utami Hayashishita, that one, she was screwed out of her championship match by a vengeful bidder, Dakota Kai. Now, I understand if I was Dakota, I'd be angry too, because we just keep outsmarting that woman at every single turn, whether it be referees or having the numbers advantage, which you're all going to look at it and go, why are they bragging about things like this? Because we have that power. Okay, when you're as powerful as Queendom is, you get to do things like this without consequence. But Dakota Kai, she's not powerful enough to cost Utami Hayashishita a championship without consequence. So, it's time to pay up and get your ass out here and take that consequence. Then Dakota does come out. And she goes, Cammy, you're saying a lot, but none of it's really resonating with me, okay? You're bragging about how you're cheating to keep the championship on EO. Listen, tomorrow night, EO defends that championship inside a steel cage. Now, it could be against me, it could be against Asuka, it could be against Bianca, but one thing I do know for sure is that if EO's trapped in that cage and no other members of Queendom are allowed in, then the chances of EO walking out Women's World Champion are not as high as you think they are. Now, Utami, I actually do owe you an apology. I apologized last week for for getting involved in your championship match and costing you the shot at Roxy. But you've got to understand that I did what I did out of respect. Now you're probably laughing at me going, Dakota, why would you do such a thing? You don't respect Queendom. No, I don't respect Cammy and the Welsh girl over there. Tegan's like getting all fired up, but Piper Niven's holding her back. But when it comes to, I don't respect how Io's going about it, but of course, with her history and how great she is in this ring as a competitor, I respect her as well. Piper, look at her, I respect her. And you'll tell me I respect you as well. There's a reason why you were this highly sought after free agent 2 years ago when you debuted in the Royal Rumble. And sure, you've not really won a championship in your time here, but that's not because of you. It's because the competition here in WWE is world class. You've been competing against people like myself and Asuka and Bianca and Io and Charlotte, Rhea, Becky, Sasha. That's a generational crop of women's talent. And now you've let this evil mastermind Cammy and this queendom, infect you to the point where you're now happy sitting back and being a sidekick. A sidekick. The great Utami, you got a whole segment at WrestleMania to decide which brand you wanted, you were that sought after. Reduced to being an heir to greatness. Because of what? Because Cammy didn't like that you couldn't beat Candice? So you tell me I did what I did last week, not because I don't want to see you succeed. I did it because I want to see you succeed. I believe in you more than your own group believes in you. I think you should be the Women's WWE Champion. You could be the Women's World Champion. But you don't need to resort to this to get it done. Utami sort of stands there and takes it all in. And then she steps up to Dakota. And then she smacks Dakota with a forearm. And we then get an impromptu match. Dakota Kai taking on Utami right now. And that match gets an 88, which I take for, an unannounced match. And the finish is, of course, after Dakota's poured her heart out here, she once again falls to the numbers game of Queendom. Because Utami does resort to those dirty-ass tactics with Io, Tegan, and Piper interfering on her behalf to help her score the win. Both women score 87. So 88 is a pretty good rating for that. Apparently there was a lack of psychology. Whatever. We move. Match still banged. After the match, just a 4-on-1 attack. I had to specify I wanted to put this in here, but Dakota just gets completely mauled by all 4 members of Queendom. Tegan hits the Shiny Wizard. Piper hits a big splash. And then Io hits the moonsault. Nobody comes out to help her. Because, we find out that the other 2 people that could be voted in for Cyber Sunday are backstage watching it. And Bianca goes, "Girl, I know about you, but I could beat all 4 members of Queendom by myself." And Asuka sort of laughs and goes, "You couldn't beat 1 member of Queendom, let alone all 4. And he goes, "Well, bitch, I beat you. Okay, every time we've stepped to the ring with each other, I've come out on top. So, you may be the dangerous Empress of Tomorrow. But the way I see it is, I'm the franchise player around here. I'm the here and the now." And Asuka just laughs and goes, "You think you beat me every time we face?" I say, "Let's do it again." Bianca goes, "Oh, so you're challenging me for next week? Fine. You're on." So yeah. One of these could be the champion next week. If they are, I guess it's going to be non-title match. But Bianca will face Asuka 1-on-1 next week. Big match that. We then head to the back. Kayla's with my guests. Cynthia Crespo alongside Pistolero, Lindsay Dorado, and Grand Metalik, Death from above. And she says, "Cynthia, Your boys held those Cruiserweight Trios Championships on Velocity for like 10 months. And now here you stand here. You are members of the SmackDown roster. And now without any Velocity Championships, what is your future looking like on the Blue brand? Cynthia goes, it'd been great being champion for 10 months. It was a really great accomplishment. It really helped establish my boys as threats. But now it's time to bring that energy full time to the Blue brand. With myself guiding Pistolero, Lince Dorado, and Grand Metalik to glory here on SmackDown. Then Brad Sawyer and Kyle and Rogers walk in and they're like, alright mate, we're the tag team standard bearers around here, so your boys should face us next week. And then Cynthia's like, well, bet. 66. Poor old Tony D. He tries his hardest to defend Big Problem Cass, but he comes up short. I imagine there are segments of offense from Tony D'Angelo where he gets the couple of hope spots in, but Braun does just in the end rip him in half with a spear, locking that Steiner recliner. Tony D taps in 8-14. 87 for Bronson Steiner, 47 for Tony D'Angelo. After the match, you've got Stacks, 2 Dimes, Elektra in there, all checking on Tony as Bronson just storms up the ramp after an emphatic win. When Solo's music hits and he comes out for the United States Championship main event. And we sort of get this moment where Bronson Steiner and Solo Sikoa cross paths on the aisleway. And they sort of just stop and stare at each other. Before Bronson shoulder checks him and walks to the back. 2 alpha males, I guess. Neither were willing to budge. Before that match, we do get a rundown for next week's show, including the tag team match we just heard announced now, full time on SmackDown. Full time on SmackDown doesn't mean they're never going to appear on Velocity again. It means they're going to appear more frequently on SmackDown than Velocity, whereas it was the other way around when they were the champions. Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado of Death Above will face Aussie Opens, Kylan Rogers, and Brad Sawyer in tag team action. And more tag team action, we'll see the SmackDown tag team champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in non-title action against Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes on next week's show. Plus, a big women's match as Bianca Belair, the franchise player, doesn't defend anything. Well, maybe, but not right now. Defends nothing against the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, in their renewed rivalry. A SummerSlam rematch from last year, actually. And yeah, moving on from that, we have one last match announcement for Cyber Sunday. That is the World Heavyweight Championship match, in which Montez Ford defends the title against Ilya Dragunov. But will the special guest referee in that match be The Miz? Will it be LA Knight? Or will it be Montez Ford's chosen member of EST? 92 rated main event. That is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to get 83. Jesus Christ, Pete Dunne, calm down. But yeah, this match is... I've got I don't have a lot of spots. I've got one specific overarching story being Pete Dunne is going to use joint manipulation to try and work down the thumb of Solo Sikoa. He's going to bite the thumb, he's going to snap the thumb, and try and neutralize the Samoan spike. To the point where there would be a spot in the match where Solo would hit the spike, but he'd grab his hand in pain before he could get the cover, which allowed Pete Dunne to roll to the outside. But in the end, Pete Dunne is overcome and they're exchanging forearms. He goes to hit that bitter end, and Solo sticks a thumb in his throat as he goes up. He then powers through the pain, hits another Samoan spike on Pete Dunne, and we have a new United States champion. Solo Sikoa wins his first championship here in WWE. The United States title, he defeats Pete Dunne for it in 15-24. 91 for Pete Dunne, 77 for Solo. And there he stands in the ring, holding his championship up high, holding his thumb up high to end the show.
Burn it down!
and outstorm Seth Rollins. A bit of a different look. Like, he's been Seth freaking Rollins for a while. He's been wearing the clothes and stuff. This is more akin to, he's sort of like wearing the not the exact like 2019 babyface Seth Rollins attire, but I guess more akin to like the Messiah era, that sort of style. But he's coming out and he rushes to the ring. He takes Solo down. He starts stomping on Solo. Sikoa, rain him punches down, and Solo goes to hit the spike. Seth dumps the spike, ducks the spike, bounces off the ropes, hits a big knee, and then probably hits a pedigree, and then a stomp to wipe Solo out. And he gets all fired up to end the show. Seth Rollins is back, and he's targeting the man who took him out, that being the new United States champion, Solo Sikoa. Show gets a 92. Yeah, because that main event was... I love how I put that angle at the end, because I thought the main event's not going to be that good. But the match actually did a lot better than the angle, so whatever. But yeah, that ends SmackDown. That ends the build to Cyber Sunday. We have one more show left, which will be Velocity. And yeah, we have new trio champions on that show, being the LA Extreme members Jorge Santana, Rush, and Santos Escobar. We kick off Velocity, how else than with an 87 rated match as the God Kyle O'Reilly defeats Ken Kobain in 1801 with a brainbuster. Kyle O'Reilly, of course, the God, he gets a 92 and a 71 for Ken Kobain. This man, has become, like I call him the God for a reason. He's become, undeniably incredible every time I put him in the ring. So, maybe I gotta start thinking of better plans for him. 65. Ouch. Angelico apparently ripped his bicep, and that caused a change to the finish of the match on the fly. So the Mexicools do pick up a win over Angelico and Terminal Velocity, and Hoovy pins Angelico with a sit-out scoop slam driver. 49 for Hoovy, 38 for Psychosis, 45 for Super Crazy, 57 for Toby Marley, which I think is Darius Martin. Yeah. 75 for Ty Marley, and 78 for Angelico, which is a really good rating, but also bicep rip sounds kind of painful. It was painful enough to cause a change on the fly, so I guess we'll have to see. I have to call him up from Dev because he's currently in AAA, so I have to see how bad that is and do surgery on him or whatever. But yeah, not good. And that probably ruined the whole match as well. And our main event, another 87 rated match. An absolutely fire episode of Velocity tonight, as Axiom kind of an upset, he defeats Wes Lee, ECW's Wes Lee, in 15 minutes and 1 second by submission. A 61 for Axiom and a 90 for Wes Lee. That's when after the match, Axiom, he takes the mic. He says it appears we have another week without the Cruiserweight Champion showing up to Velocity. So next week, Sensei, it's going to be you and me for the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, so Axiom versus Young Sensei for the Cruiserweight title next week on Velocity. And that ends a very quick, but also very good episode of Velocity. He gets an 83, which in terms of Velocity stands is really fucking good. What matters more, though, is what you thought of the show, mainly of SmackDown. And I'll see you next time for, I think it's episode 441, which will be the Cyber Sunday pay-per-view. See you then.